Remember when Trump said in 2016, we're going to eliminate the national debt in 8 years? Well, it's now 2025, and his latest budget would add almost $4 trillion to the debt over the next decade. That's the same as giving every single American, babies included, a $12,000 tab and telling them, don't worry, Daddy Trump has a plan. And that plan, it's called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, a budget that combines tax cuts for the rich, military surges, and massive slashes to healthcare, education, and housing. Also, it assumes a 5.8% GDP growth, which is roughly double what anyone sane thinks will happen. That's not a plan. That's like saying, it's fine. I'll cover rent the day I hit the jackpot on a $20 scratch off, and then buying scratchers with your defense budget. Let's talk about the working poor, people making under $30,000 a year. This budget gives them a teeny tiny tax break, and then takes a chainsaw to everything that actually keeps them and helps them and keeps them alive. So congrats, your taxes go down by maybe $200. $200. Right, after your rent subsidy vanishes, your food stamps disappear, and your kid's asthma inhaler goes from $10 to good luck. And if you're disabled, there's a $25 billion cut to Social Security disability insurance, because nothing says America first like wheelchair last. This isn't a budget, it's a reverse Robin Hood, except instead of stealing from the poor to give to the rich, it just yells, get a job, and kicks you down a flight of stairs. Now let's hit the middle class, folks making 50 to 150 grand. According to the Tax Foundation, middle income households would get a tax cut of around $900 to $1,200 a year. That's one tire rotation and half a demo cleaning. But here's what you lose. Federal education grants, slashed. ACA premium subsidies, capped. Public transportation, gone. Pell Grants, cut by $26 billion. So you saved $1,000, and then your train doesn't come, your kid gets held back, and your doctor says we no longer accept insurance, only vibes. This isn't fiscal responsibility. It's like throwing your wallet in the trash because your car insurance is expensive. So who actually benefits? Let's check in with the top 1%. Households earning over $500,000 a year get tax cuts averaging $48,000. That's not a refund, that's a raise from the government. And corporations, Trump's plan cuts the corporate tax rate from 21 to 15%, below global averages. So now giant corporations are paying less tax than your average Uber driver. Plus, capital gains taxes would also drop because nothing says job creator like someone who sells you a third yacht. And of course, Trump protects the real estate loophole that lets you write off passive losses, a loophole he's used for years. This isn't trickle down, it's Niagara up. Let's talk about the fantasy math. This budget is built on assumed growth, not real growth. It claims it'll shrink the deficit while cutting taxes and increasing military spending, which is like saying I'm opening a restaurant, but I fired the chef, locked the freezer, and by the way, I'm banning forks. I hate them. But don't worry, guys, Trump has a solution. First thing he's gonna do is eliminate IRS enforcement funding. That's right, slash the agency responsible for collecting taxes. So you cut taxes and then cut the department that collects what's left. If this math worked, we should all quit our jobs, declare bankruptcy, and wait for our savings accounts to magically double. Call it Trumponomics, now available in NFT form. Here's what this budget really does. It boosts military and ICE funding by hundreds of billions while gutting every program that helps regular people survive. The rich get bailouts, the poor get bus fare, if the buses are even still running. In the middle class, they get a tax cut that barely covers their anxiety meds until that gets defunded too. This isn't budgeting, this is looting with PowerPoint. And here's the thing we have to recognize. When you cut housing, food, and healthcare, people don't just vanish. They get pushed to the edge and then blamed for falling. Right now, we have over 500,000 homeless Americans and rising. And with Trump's cuts, that number explodes. But what will we use to fund the shelters? Will we build the housing? No. Here's what this administration might do instead. Say unhoused Americans aren't real Americans. Just strip their citizenship too. Deport them to El Salvador. Because if someone doesn't fit the vision of real America, this budget sends them somewhere else. Same goes for hunger. We'll have starving families and an administration that blames them for not pulling themselves up by their non-existent grocery bags. And to every younger voter watching this, how exactly is this fixing your problems? Can you buy a home now? You can't even rent one. We're spending billions on skyscrapers, border walls, and tax shelters for the ultra-rich, while you're paying $2,000 a month for a shoebox in the town where you can't even pronounce. And forget major cities. In Trump's America, real estate is for oligarchs. You just get to walk past it. This budget doesn't help you build a future. It helps billionaires buy a third one. If this episode of Lies of the Orange Era made you laugh, wince, or question reality, good. That means it worked. Subscribe and help us expose every scam hiding in a spreadsheet before it becomes law.